Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Life on the Hill. Today, what I wanted to try to do was explain why I titled this video, why I think saddles are the future of bow hunting, and kind of explain what I mean by that statement. So the reason why I have my traditional harness on today is because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna climb a tree stand that I have hung. I've hunted out of many times, I've killed deer out of it, but I'm gonna climb up and I'm going to attempt to show you the angles in which are available for shots, and then the ones that are not reachable in a traditional tree stand setting. And then what I would like to do is also show you on that exact same tree, below the platform of the traditional stand, that way it's the same exact angles. I can show you how with a saddle and a platform, you can actually get total 360-degree coverage around the tree. There are no blind spots with a little bit of movement. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna climb that tree, get in the normal tree stand, and connect my harness, and then I'll pick you up there and show you exactly what I'm talking about as far as angles that are available and also angles that are not. Okay, so now I'm up here in my traditional stand. We hung it so that we could have good view of this small little food plot that we have here. I'm right-handed, and so naturally my strong side from a seated position is anything to the left. And even from a seated position, you can cover quite a lot of ground. So now that I'm standing, I can cover the entire food plot with a couple steps, a little slow movement. I can cover all the way back around this way. Now where it gets tricky and where I think a saddle shines is I'm at the very edge of my platform here, and I might could make that shot, but I'm not very stable, and I am sort of swaying a little bit because I'm off on my toes a little bit. But you can see that tree right there I can't shoot any further than that safely. Sure, you could probably lean and make it, but I don't like doing that. I don't feel comfortable doing that. So that tree right there is by far the furthest that I could shoot. Now, coming back to the other side, this is where things get tricky because, you've got your strap, your harness that is attached to your back, and that limits you as far as how far you can get. Now in this particular instance, obviously this tree has a fork, and so this is an obstruction, but you can see I really can't get all the way around here. There's just too many obstructions. The strap is a big problem, and then two, you're limited in what you can actually see, reach, and get to. Now obviously I can cover this comfortably. I actually missed a doe right there. So, I know that shot is makeable. I didn't make it, but I know that it is makeable. And so you've got pretty good coverage. You really do. You've got pretty good coverage. If you set your stand up right, you can cover a lot. Now you do still have a blind spot. I can't reach over there, and I can't reach right there. So, if that's the only shot that you have presented to you, for whatever reason, then obviously that's a missed opportunity. That's a deer that you're never going to get a shot at. Now what I would like to do now is I'm going to get back down, and I'm going to climb. I've just brought one stick. I'll hang my Predator platform right below this traditional platform. That way, it's the exact same angles. It's just shorter. I don't need to climb up here all the way to demonstrate my angles and what I can actually achieve with a saddle. Traditionally, I would definitely be using my lineman's rope, but I'm only one step, two-step aider off the ground right now, and so I'm just going to go ahead and hang my platform here. This is also a a tree that's probably too big. Okay. Now, as you can see, we go directly up the tree. I'm right underneath my traditional platform. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my tether around the tree. Now, obviously this stick wouldn't be here, but you kind of get the drift. Now, the big difference is obviously in a saddle situation, you face the tree. And in a traditional setting, you face away from the tree. Your back is to the tree. But, so naturally left-hand or being right-handed, I can cover a lot of this area with minimal movement. It's just pivoting at the torso. Now the cool thing too about platforms, having this Predator platform, is you can put side pressure on it. And so now, the same food plot that you saw earlier, I can reach all of that. Now you may be saying, well, now you've created a weak spot over here. That isn't really the case, because if you hang your platform, you know, at like a 45 or just maybe a 90 off of your sticks that you climbed up with, what you can do is now, if you can remember, there was a tree right back here that I could not reach no matter what angle I got in the traditional stand. Now all you've got to do is step off right here onto your step, and now that is that exact same tree. Even with this tree in the way, I could still make that shot. I could still take that shot. The other cool thing is now, because of the strap situation, it's not in your way. You know, you can easily make a draw, and now I can cover this whole area. Now you may say, well, right over there, you've still not showed that you can cover that. The way you combat that in this setting is you stand up on the platform. I mean, you could easily just stand on the platform and reach across into it if you wanted to do that. But another maneuver that a lot of saddle hunters will do is they will wrap up into, like this right here, into their bridge and their tether. And so now it's come across you, you've got nothing in your way, you can draw and make that shot. This is also more stable than the shot that I referenced above, where, you know, you're kind of leaning, you don't have good contact. Now I've got 3 points of contact. I've got my 2 feet on the platform that's anchored in well, and then I've also got my butt cheeks on the tree. Then you've also got stability here. I mean, I'm rock solid right here. This is just way more stable than you would be in a traditional setting where you're, you know, maybe off on the balls of your feet, you're leaning forward, and so now you've got no stability. But what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go ahead and get down, and then I'll give you some of my final thoughts as to why I actually think this is the future of bow hunting. So now that I'm back on the ground, I wanna take a moment and explain why I think that combination of a platform, a good solid platform like the Predator platform here, or in conjunction with some sort of a saddle. I have the Phantom saddle here from Tethrd. Don't necessarily have to have that, but I want to explain why I think that the combination of a platform and a saddle are actually the future of bow hunting. And I've tried to explain that already with showing you the versatility of the angles in which you can cover. Now you may say, well, there's a lot of movement involved to get that, and that's true, but that's also the case in any open stand setting where you're not enclosed, like in a shooting house or a box blind of some sort. You've always got movement to position and set up for a shot. So if you're quiet and you make slow movements, the saddle in and of itself is very quiet, as well as the platform if you get that thing anchored in well. So that's not gonna make any noise. The noise is gonna come from you rustling, or you know, if you're not quiet with your feet on the platform itself. But if you just take your time and you make slow movements, you can actually position and get yourself into those positions to take the shot and give you just a better opportunity to harvest that deer that you may not have been able to harvest in another setting. So another key point that I really think sets the saddle and a platform apart is, say for instance you've got a lease. I know several guys here in Tennessee have leases, in Kentucky they have leases in Indiana, Illinois. So say you've got a lease out of state, right? You may take a week off of work and you go hunt. Now the issue with that is you take the week off in advance, you don't know what the weather's gonna be, you don't know what the wind's gonna be. Perhaps you've had this lease for years, you've set up stands that generally work with the typical wind. Well, you get up there and for whatever reason, instead of like a southwest wind or whatever's normally blowing there, you get another type of wind. Maybe you've got enough stands up there to cover it for different wind scenarios, but maybe you don't. The neat thing about a saddle is you're not tied to that tree. You can easily pick out a different tree that will in fact work with that wind that you weren't ready for. So, I mean, the versatility of it, the light packability of it, the customization that you can actually do. You can tailor your saddle to do, whatever you need it to do. No two saddles are gonna be the same. Watch videos, take tips and tricks from other people, and make the saddle that's gonna work for you. And I also just, like I said, I love the versatility of being able to cover the full tree. And I also just love the fact that you're not, in fact, tied to a specific tree. Another thing, I'm old enough to remember when the original climber stands, the two-piece climber stands came out. They were very popular and they were the new technology. And I remember when my dad got one and he was playing out in the yard with it, and it was revolutionary at the time, right? Well, the only difference with that is there's a couple issues with those climber stands, right? Obviously you can only climb a tree that's straight. And obviously you're gonna need a tree that doesn't have a whole lot of branches because it needs to stay tethered, or it needs to stay connected to the tree and just ascend straight up through there. So any branches are gonna throw that away. So you're either making noise with a saw or you're finding the perfect tree. Now the really cool thing about a saddle in comparison to a climber tree stand is the fact that you can climb trees with branches, because for a split second you can take your lineman's rope off and then get above the branch, which allows you to go above a branch. You didn't have to make noise and saw the branch, and you actually got above the branch and you were able to continue on. The other cool thing is it doesn't have to be a perfectly straight tree, because if you're using sticks, you can sort of taper them. You can sort of taper them around the tree, or you can get around branches and stuff that way too. So there's a plethora of reasons that I actually do think that the saddle is the most versatile way to hunt, and I actually do think that it's probably the future of bow hunting. There are 4 main reasons why I think that a platform and a saddle are the future of bow hunting. One, it's the fact that you can climb any tree with it. You don't have to have a straight tree, so the versatility of the tree that you can climb is unmatched. 2, it's the angles in which you can cover a tree. You've got 360-degree coverage with a little bit of movement. 3, it's the packability and the fact that you're not tied to a specific tree, so it's the portability. That's the main thing. And 4, it's just the customization. You can tailor your saddle to however you see fit, make it work for you, and that's just so versatile. So hopefully this was helpful in shining some light as to why I do think that these are the future of bow hunting. I hope I did a good job, and I hope you were able to see how you can cover 360 degrees of the tree. If you find this video helpful, make sure to give it a like. Comment below if you would disagree, or if you have any other reasons as to why you think saddle hunting may be for you. I encourage you to watch a lot of other videos, figure out what you like, make a decision, and jump into a saddle. But anyway, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Life on the Hill. We'll catch you in the next one.